Alright, I want to show how to add Metamask to a browser and use it to buy coins that you can't find on like the normal exchanges. So first thing I want to do is go to Metamask. The thing about Metamask is it's an Ethereum based wallet, right? So it can only support coins made on the Ethereum network. So let's go ahead and download it for our browser. Add to Firefox, can I? Okay, I had to restart my browser or update the browser, so now I can click on Firefox here so we can install Metamask for Firefox. Now I can add to Firefox, and we'll add. So now I have a nice little that's fine. Okay, so now I have this Metamask, so we can get started with Metamask. There's two ways you can approach this. If you've already added Metamask to another browser, which I have, I would have a seed phrase that I could get from it, and I can restore that seed phrase, or we can just get set up straight away by creating a wallet and agree to the terms, set up your password, and basically you create your wallet, right? So instead of that, I'm going to go ahead and import my seed phrase here, and I would type in this seed phrase, which is a 24-word phrase that I would get that I could export, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so I typed in the seed phrase and a password, created a password, and I'm set up. So we can start swapping. This is a new feature to Metamask, which is kind of nice, but it's I hear it's kind of expensive. I've done it a few times. It didn't seem that bad, but usually Uniswap is a good one to do. So we'll look at that in a minute. Okay, so I have some tokens in here just from trading and getting some tokens. So now how do you get a token in here in the first place, right? So let's say I want to get some ETH, right? So I can click on ETH here and I can buy, and you can just wire it right to it from I guess a debit card or something. I've never used that. I just use like a brokerage account or something like this. So we can click on View Account, and what this does is it gives a public address that you can scan with a QR code or copy the long code here, or address code, and get it that way. So I'm going to leave this up here, and I'm going to minimize the browser, go to my phone, and open up Voyager, which is a nice app. And how's that? Okay, so here's I have some ETH in this account, and so I can click on transfer here. Quality is not that good, but that's okay. And then I can withdraw some ETH, and here's where I can go to my QR code reader. So it goes to my camera, and then I go back to Firefox, and I can scan that code. And not that you can see that, but now that I have that code in here, that code is indeed the same as this code here, which is that public address. And then I can send some ETH there, so maybe 0.2 ETH for $300, and next, done. and then I can slide that to withdraw and confirm that. I'm gonna just pause here, and that's what you would do. And then sooner or later, you would end up seeing that ETH. It only takes a few minutes, depending on how busy the network is. Around noon Mountain Standard Time is a pretty okay time. It seems to not take very long, and it's cheaper too. In the morning, I find it almost twice as much. So there's kind of some expensive fees there. Anyway, we can swap our ETH for a different token, and this may be a little bit tough. Like if I wanted to swap for some latentry, in Metamask, you can be pretty certain that it's going to be okay. You may want to confirm that. Well, it even says confirm it on Etherscan, and look at that contract address and make sure that it matches the actual token that you're thinking of. Another way to check that is go to CoinGecko.com and do a search for latentry, and I can look at that contract address and just check the last 3 numbers of it and such. I can also add it to Metamask. I can add it to my Metamask wallet, and there it is. I can add my token to it. So when I go back to Metamask, that's not exactly the I'm still not certain that that's the coin that I want. So another way to work that is I've added it via CoinGecko to my wallet, so I can click on that and click swap and then pick ETH, and it should tell me how much ETH I have in here. If I swip it around, it does tell me how much ETH, so I know my ETH's correct and I know the latentry is correct, and so now I can spend some time. I can even swap it just right out of this browser right here, or extension window, and you put in 0.1 ETH and swap it for some more latentry. I think actually the price, if I don't spend too much time on that, look at it for the past, the day hasn't changed much over the day and hasn't changed much over the week. For 2 weeks it's actually a little bit down. A month it's up a little bit, and of course you can look at these numbers across here. So actually it's not even that old, so it's had its little peak and it's dropped back down to kind of add a price discovery or whatever. A couple other things to look at when you're checking a token that CoinGecko gives you anyway. Market cap, of course, and that market cap is pretty low for this time in the bull cycle. If anything around $1 million is actually, I would consider, sort of low cap. And then you also check your trading volume and see how it compares to the market cap. I would divide those 2 numbers and hopefully get around between 10 and 50, I guess, percent, and look at the volume. It looks like the volume's actually pretty okay, and the trading volume is, I don't know, what is that, 25%? So it looks pretty good actually. And there's also actually more information as far as what latentry is supposed to do, digital IDs, which is kind of what I'm interested in right now. And then you can also go to latentry.com and read their white paper. A couple things I would do is, one of the things is looking on GitHub. And you probably have the white paper. There's a light paper, which is a version of it, of their of what the project is and how they're producing it, and it's more hype for it, but it's also correct information, hopefully. And you would look at its governance, how many tokens are actually, well, governance is what you might look for in the light paper or white paper, and the token economics, like how it's developing, what the token's used for, really. A couple other things, the community and the developing the people behind it. It's, I don't really see here, community. So spending some time looking up the projects and what they're doing, as well as yeah, I guess you got to sign in or whatever. Anyway, I've looked at this a little bit before, and it looks pretty good. So maybe I want to swap it out. I'm going to go back to CoinGecko. So we see how we can swap it in MetaMask. Yeah. So I click here, swap, switch it for whatever I want to swap it with, and maybe I want to go the other way, which I kind of usually do. Usually use my ETH because I usually send my ETH from my Voyager account to swap with some other tokens that aren't on the Voyager account. That's pretty much the way it goes. So stepping through this a little bit further, the token's not been verified, but that's because, well, I already know it is because I added it from CoinGecko, so it's pretty good. And some advanced options would be you can lower the slippage tolerance. I think you can also, in here, well, let's review the swap. Yeah, you can look at the quotes. There's 3 different quotes, 30, 40 bucks. The cheaper the quote, the longer it takes, kind of. Let's go back. MetaMask charges almost 1%, and you can edit the network fee. This is what I was looking for, and you can go a little bit cheaper and slower, right? So, yeah, I can do it for about 30 bucks. So, not a great idea, and I'm going to run out of time here. It's going to give me another quote in a minute, but yeah, it's usually more economical to make larger swaps than small amounts like this, but in this case, I'm not going to do it anyway. So I also want to show, so that's really dirty, not very thorough looking up the coin and researching and stuff, but those are some basic things to look for to see if the coin's worth getting and to avoid rug pulls and things like that. So for such a new coin, that's useful. Also, oh yeah, circulating supply. It looks like there are 100 million coins, and there are 18 million circulating. So that's kind of low, I think. It's better, I guess, to have more of the coins in circulation, like 80–90% of them in circulation makes good sense. And also, if you look at the website, you could see how they're distributing the coins. So maybe they're doing a slow distribution of coins, just minting coins slowly, which keeps rug pulls, like people just buying up coins and jacking the price up and then selling it out or whatever, selling it. So another way to swap them anyway, getting back to that, is if you go to markets, you can look at different markets and go to one of them. Uniswap's pretty easy. So if I just click on that, it'll go to the Uniswap interface, so I know I'm going to the correct page. And just realize that even on Uniswap, or on any decentralized exchange, anybody can put a coin on there and name it the same, and that could mess you up. But I'm sure now that because I went through CoinGecko, which is a trusted site, that it's pretty safe. So how do you use this? Well, you got to connect your MetaMask wallet to it. So if I connect the wallet, MetaMask is one of them, then I've just connected my MetaMask wallet with this. I actually have 2 accounts here, but it's okay. So next, and connect. So now it should allow me to pick up my ETH. Might have to refresh the browser here. Here we go. So now I have some ETH that I can use, and I can type in a certain amount and get 20 lit with it for a price of, well, I think that's actually just the price of a lit in ETH. Yeah, that looks like what it is. And so I have some price impact. I guess that's called slippage. So 0.1%, and I get a liquidity provider fee, which that's a better price than I think Metamask. I don't know, $30. That's three 10,000ths of an ETH. So yeah, it's like $3 or something. If it was 1,000, right? So anyway, seems to be cheaper to do that, and so you can swap, and it happens in. Go ahead and confirm it. I think it's already in there, so I don't need to. I don't know why it's asking me to do that. I think I already have it in here. So it's pending. It may take a few seconds, so let me pause. Okay, it looks like it did it, so I click on that and I can see, yeah, that it did it. So I can go to MetaMask here, and it might not show when I was trying to load, but you can also click on here and expand view, and that goes to the MetaMask area here. Here we go, and now I have 20.7 lit in my wallet, and we can swap back and forth with this. It costs you to do it, so probably don't want to do that too often, and you get taxed on these swaps. Also are taxable. So anyway, that's how I go about moving and buying coins that traditionally aren't on the basic exchanges and brokerages and things that I typically use.